So at this point, we have adjusted the settings in camera and picked a lens that we are happy with. So now we need to actually go out and film something. But once you've picked a subject, how do you frame them? How do you place them in the scene? Well, in this episode, I'm going to talk about some of the top composition and framing techniques that you want to pay very close attention to when you are filming your video. Because the way that we frame our videos can have a big effect on, one, how professional it looks, and two, how the footage is perceived. So what type of story is it telling? So the first technique that I want to talk about is the rule of thirds. Now, the rule of thirds is a very simple technique. Draw 2 vertical lines and 2 horizontal lines. You can also turn on this grid line in your camera. Most cameras will give you this option. So you can pop this onto your monitor to help you visualize that. Now, generally, this works by placing people or horizons on the grid lines. So if you were filming a landscape, you could place the horizon on the bottom line or the top line. And then if you were filming people, you could place them on either one of those lines. Of course, it's not just landscapes and people that you can use the rule of thirds on. You can use the rule of thirds in a very creative way and use this to frame up virtually anything. Now, it is called the rule of thirds, but this is not a rule. You don't have to frame up everything using the rule of thirds. You can break this rule. And an example of that is using symmetry. So rather than placing somebody on a grid line, you can place them smack bang in the center of the camera like this shot. Although you would probably argue actually that this side is probably heavier than this side. And by heavier, I mean there's more going on over here. A true example of symmetry is having something in the middle and both sides of the shot are perfectly balanced, so one doesn't have too much going on versus the other. Using symmetry in your framing can look really cinematic and it can help to make your videos more visually interesting and therefore look more professional. It's also worth looking out for leading lines as well. Leading lines are essentially just something in the frame that takes your eye on a journey. So if we're taking a video of a landscape and we can see a road going off into the distance, we could use this as a leading line to draw our eyes towards a specific point in the frame. Now, a really quick example of using leading lines in the real world, if we are taking a video of a skyline or a landscape, you could bring the camera low to the ground, place the camera next to a curb, and you could use the line from that curb to point you towards a specific skyscraper on the landscape. This is taking your eye from that path, it's going all the way down that curb and taking you to that visual interest, this point of interest. Again, you don't have to use leading lines all the time, but if you can, leading lines can actually really create powerful composition. We also have frame within a frame, and this is exactly what it sounds like. Frame within a frame is framing your subject within a frame in the frame. So at this point, we have adjusted the settings in camera and picked a lens that we are happy with. So now we need to actually go out